So a couple of weeks ago, I made a tutorial video for how to make these little tiny crochet cherry blossoms. But whilst I was making these, I made another version of a cherry blossom, and the more I look at it, the more I like it. So I have decided that I am going to make a little tutorial for how to make this slightly chunkier cherry blossom. What you're going to need to make this is, I use 3 different colours of yarn. I will post a link in the description for all the colours that I've used. This is a cotton yarn, but you can use whatever you've got handy. I'm also going to be using a 3.5mm crochet hook, a darning needle and a pair of scissors. So that's basically all you need to get started. So with that, I will show you what to do. So I'm going to start with my darkest colour, and we're going to make the middle of our flower. I'm going to begin by making a slip knot. And then we're going to take our hook, pop it into the loop, and chain 4. So to do that, what we're going to do is catch the yarn with your hook and then pull that through the loop that's on the hook through the slip knot, essentially, and that's your first chain. So we're going to do that again, catch the yarn with your hook and pull that through the loop on the hook 2 more times, and that is your 4 chains. We are then going to slip stitch into this first chain. So you're going to pop your hook in, and then you're going to catch the yarn and pull through both loops on the hook. Now what that does is create a kind of donut shape, and you're going to be working into this centre hole in the middle of these. So into that middle hole, we're going to do a chain 1, so catch the yarn, pull it through, and then we are going to do 10 single crochets into that middle hole. Now this is using US terminology, so if you were using UK terminology this would be a double crochet, but we're using US. So to do our single crochet, we're going to pop our hook into the hole, we're going to catch the yarn and pull it through the donut only. This makes 2 loops on the hook. We're then going to catch the yarn and pull through both loops on the hook at the same time, and that is your single crochet. So that's 1. We're going to do another one. Pop your hook into the donut, catch the yarn, pull it through the donut only. This makes 2 loops on your hook. You catch the yarn and then pull through both loops on the hook at the same time. That is 2 single crochets in total now, and we need 10, so I'm going to be doing 8 more of those into that same hole. Okay, so that's our 10 single crochets, and I'm now going to pop my hook into that first single crochet that we started with, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I'm going to catch the yarn and pull that through everything on the hook. I'm now going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to slip stitch into not this next single crochet, but the one after. We're going to be working into every other stitch. So we're currently in this one. I'm going to ignore this one, and we're going to work into this one. So I'm going to do a slip stitch. And then I'm going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the second one along, so not this next one, the one after. And I'm going to repeat that until I've got 5 petals in total the whole way round. So we chain 4 and then slip stitch into the second one along. And then we're at our last one, so we slip stitch into the second single crochet along, so this guy here, which brings us back to where we started. So now we can tie off, and we do that by pulling up our hook to make a loop, and then we can take our scissors and snip off a tail. We then pull that tail, this one here, through the loop, and that makes a knot to tie everything off. So that is the centre of our cherry blossom. We're now going to start working on the second section. The next part of our cherry blossom that we're going to work on is this pink section here, so this sort of middle area. I'm actually going to be using my white colour for this flower, but you can use whatever colour you want. I just want to have a few flowers with a kind of alternating colour pattern, but as you can see here, I've used the pink, and this is what that looks like. So I'm going to get my white, and I'm going to make my slip knot. Pop that side, and what I'm going to do is take the piece we just made, so our centre. This is the front. This is what it looks like from the way you're supposed to see it. If you turn it over, you can see the back and where we've worked into. So we've worked into this stitch here, but not this one. Worked into this stitch, but not into this one. So we've worked alternating stitches. Now, with this row, what we're going to be doing is popping our hook into the stitches that we haven't slip stitched into. So, for example, I'm going to start here. So, this one here in the middle, under where the shape of our petal is, but you want to make sure you're not popping your hook in like this, because if you do, you'll be working over the top of your petal and that won't work. You're going to want to fold your petal down and then pop your hook into the stitch so that you can work without anything getting in the way. So I'm going to take my slip knot, I'm going to pop it onto my hook, and I'm going to pull it through and chain one. Then I'm going to work back into that same stitch, and I'm going to do 2 single crochets. So into the same hole, I'm going to single crochet twice. What this does is it allows us to jump over the space where we've slip stitched on the previous row and move on to the next gap between the petals. Now, again, you're going to want to make sure you're folding that petal down as you work. You don't want to be working under it. You want to make sure it's folded out of the way and you're working just into this middle bit here. So I'm going to pop my hook in there. I'm going to do 2 single crochets. So then I'm going to go back into the same stitch for the last single crochet. So that's 4 single crochet in total now, and it should start to look a little bit like this. So I'm going to continue that the whole way round, working in every other single crochet from the previous row, and that will give me 10 single crochets in total. So that is our 10th single crochet completed. So to finish off, what I'm going to do is into that first single crochet we made at the beginning of this row, I'm going to pop my hook in and do a slip stitch. And if we lay this flat, you can see what it is beginning to look like. Now that we've done our single crochets, we're going to start working on our popcorn stitches. So these chunky stitches here, and what these do is give our work a nice bit of dimension to them. They kind of push forward to create a slightly sort of dome effect. And with popcorn stitches, you want to be working into the back of your work. So we're going to be flipping our work over, because in order to create this kind of puff that you've got here, they need to push forward. So this is the back. You can see that there's quite a clear difference between what those look like, and we want to make sure we're working into the right side. So we are going to take our work, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to flip our work over, and you can see the stitches into the back of our work there. Now we're going to be working into that same stitch that we just slipped into, and we're going to start by wrapping the yarn around our hook. The kind of process you use for this is very similar to a US double crochet, so it's the same sort of mechanism. We're going to pop our hook into that stitch, we're going to catch the yarn, pull it through, that leaves 3 loops on your hook. You then catch the yarn and pull it through the first 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, we're going back into the same stitch, catch the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, yarn over again, back into that same stitch we go, catch the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 stitches, yarn over, pop your hook into that same stitch again, catch the yarn, pull it through, and then we yarn over, pull through the first 2 stitches on our hook, and then one more time, yarn over, pop your hook into the stitch, catch the yarn, pull it through, and then yarn over and pull through the first 2 stitches on your hook. You can see here that we've got 6 loops, which is what we're looking for after we've done our final pull through 2. So now we can catch the yarn and pull through everything on the hook at the same time. We're then going to chain 1, and we're going to move on to working into that next single crochet stitch. And we'll be continuing that the whole way round. So, and I promise it does get easier. This stitch looks really complicated and it probably feels complicated, but once you start to get into a rhythm and you've done a few of them, it's the same process over and over again. So we're going to yarn over, pop our hook into that next single crochet stitch, catch the yarn, pull it through the stitch, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go back into that same stitch, catch the yarn, pull it through the stitch, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, back into the same stitch, catch the yarn, pull it through the stitch, yarn over, pull through the first 2 stitches on your hook, yarn over, back into that same stitch, catch the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 stitches on your hook, and then one more time we yarn over, go back into the same stitch, catch the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 stitches on your hook, and then we can pull through everything on the hook at the same time and chain 1. That is our second popcorn stitch complete. So you can see if we turn it over, you've got that puffiness on the front and the sort of inward dome on the back. I'm going to continue this now the whole way round, working 1 popcorn stitch and 1 chain into each single crochet from the previous row. So I will have 10 popcorn stitches and 10 chain stitches in total at the end. So that's our last popcorn stitch and chain stitch. So we've got 10 of these in total now. So to tie off, what we're going to do is take our hook and pop it into the chain stitch that we did at the beginning. So that second chain that we made right at the start of our popcorn stitches, you're going to pop your hook in there, then catch the yarn, pull it through to do a slip stitch, and then tie off your work. So you can flip it back over now and you'll see that we've got our front and our back. They look very different, so hopefully that should make sense. And what we're going to begin doing now is our petals. So we're going to be working in the gaps between the popcorn stitches. If you pull your work apart, it should feel like they come apart quite naturally. It should feel as though there's somewhere for you to sort of slightly slot your finger into, and those are where we're going to be working in. Okay, so I'm going to take my pink for this row, and as always I'm going to make a slip knot. I'm going to take my work and my hook, and I'm going to pop my hook in between one of those gaps. So hopefully that should feel quite easy to find. Pop my hook in, place my slip knot onto my hook and tighten it up. We're going to begin by chaining 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to double crochet 2 into this same gap. So to double crochet, we wrap the yarn around our hook, pop our hook into that same hole, catch the yarn, pull it through the hole, and that makes 3 loops on our hook. We're then going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, yarn over again and pull through the second 2 loops on your hook, and that is 1 double crochet. So we're going to do that again. And then we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And then we're going to double crochet 3 into the exact same space, so that one we're working into already. You're going to double crochet 3 back in there. And then we are going to work into the next space along, so the next gap between your popcorn stitches. I'm going to jump over here and we're going to single crochet 1 into this gap, like so, and then we're going to be moving on to the next gap, and we're going to do 3 double crochets, 2 chains and 3 double crochets in the next gap. So 1, 2, 3, that's 3 double crochets. We now do 2 chains and 3 more double crochets. So that's our second petal. Into the next gap between our popcorn stitches, we're going to single crochet 1. And we're essentially going to repeat that the whole way round. So we're going to do in the next gap, we're going to do 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets, and then into the following gap we're going to single crochet 1, and you're going to do that the whole way round, and that will leave you with 5 petals in total. So that's our last single crochet into our gap completed. So what we're going to do now is just slip stitch into these chains that we did at the beginning. So this second chain, you're just going to pop your hook in, catch the yarn, pull it through to do a slip stitch, and then you can tie off. So all that's left now is to tie in your many ends, and that will be your cherry blossom completed. So here we have our finished cherry blossom. So what I'm going to be doing now is blocking these to ensure that I get the petals to sit exactly how I want them to before I stitch them onto anything or turn them into anything else. But I think this is just a really cute, fun, something simple, something easy to make that you can do with scrap yarn or a very small amount of whatever you've got handy. If this is something that you would like a written pattern for, please let me know down in the comments. I never really know what kind of things you would like to have me write up or not, so please let me know. It's really helpful so I don't waste my time. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day.